season. Just what are your plans for the off season and possibly playing or just doing individual workouts?
Yeah, I mean, probably take a little bit of a break here, just for maybe a week. I don't really want to lose a ton of the stuff I've worked on, and just trying to get my body back to full health.
Hold on, because what happens when a sports savior decides she's done being sacrificed on national television? For months, fans watched in amazement as Caitlin Clark, the most electrifying player in modern basketball history, shattered decades-old attendance records, dragged an entire league out of obscurity, and generated billions for network executives, all while enduring relentless hostility that would break even the toughest veteran. Everyone expected the rookie phenomenon to simply smile for every camera, drain her unbelievable logo threes, and quietly accept the brutal. Instead, she was expected to accept the unspoken realities of professional basketball with nothing but grace. From casual fans to passionate analysts, everyone assumed Caitlin Clark would quietly carry the crushing burden of the Indiana Fever while surviving a league that often appeared determined to resent her very presence. She was expected to play the perfect soldier as veterans fired subtle shots at her through interviews and on the hardwood. Sports networks kept selling the polished story that everything was perfectly fine, insisting the rough treatment was simply a traditional rookie initiation and that she was happily adjusting to professional basketball. But that polished fairy tale wasn't the whole truth, and what was really happening behind the scenes stunned far more people than anyone expected. The instant she stepped off the WNBA draft stage, a giant target was practically painted across her back because everyone recognized her unmatched ability to transform a struggling league forever. If you're enjoying this breakdown, hit the like button and subscribe because most people watching still haven't, and your support genuinely helps this channel grow. Now, let's get right back into the story. Instead of receiving gratitude for bringing massive attention and money, she walked straight into a frightening maze of resentment. She wasn't stepping into basketball anymore. It looked more like surviving a full-blown battlefield filled with petty rivalries and reckless physical play. Opponents weren't simply defending hard either. While referees repeatedly kept their whistles silent, she absorbed crushing shoulders, aggressive hip checks, and blatant cheap shots that many believe crossed every line. Yet commentators brushed off the obvious contact as nothing more than standard veteran treatment, casually minimizing calls that looked impossible to ignore. Players who had spent years competing before quiet, half-empty arenas suddenly found themselves performing inside sold-out buildings, but instead of appreciating the rookie responsible for that incredible transformation, many appeared determined to direct years of frustration toward Caitlin Clark. Night after night, she climbed off the hardwood looking exhausted, scanning for a teammate willing to stand beside her, only to be met with silence. The league proudly plastered Clark's face across billboards, advertisements, and social media because she generated attention everywhere, yet protecting its biggest attraction from unnecessary punishment somehow became an afterthought. That silence from the very people expected to support her reportedly helped create an internal crisis few media members ever anticipated. Fans and commentators were equally stunned watching the Indiana Fever front office seemingly mishandle the greatest opportunity any franchise could receive. When a team drafts a once-in-a-generation superstar who instantly becomes the league's biggest attraction, common sense says management should surround her with experienced protectors and build an offense perfectly suited to her extraordinary playmaking. Instead, Indiana appeared to throw Clark directly into chaos with an uneven roster and a coaching staff that often seemed reluctant to embrace the fast, exciting style that made her a worldwide sensation. Press conferences quickly became uncomfortable as the head coach repeatedly criticized the rookie's decisions publicly, questioned her shot selection, and pushed a slower, outdated system that many believed erased her greatest strengths. Millions watched in frustration as a generational talent was squeezed into an unimaginative system, like dropping a high-performance race engine into a worn-out pickup truck, then complaining it couldn't perform properly. Even worse, she seemed to have almost no on-court protection, leaving the young star to battle both physical punishment and mental pressure alone because nobody consistently stepped forward after hard hits. To many observers, that lack of organizational support looked less like simple incompetence and more like professional self-sabotage, creating an increasingly toxic environment that slowly drained her passion for basketball. As troubling as Indiana's internal situation already appeared, an even bigger controversy exploded nationally when the Fever's highly anticipated roster announcement arrived. To the shock of the sports world, the game's biggest female star was nowhere to be found, while officials defended the decision by pointing towards supposed experience gaps with the senior national team. The official explanation pointed toward limited senior national team experience and vague concerns about chemistry, but plenty of observers believed something much bigger was unfolding behind the scenes. To many, it looked like an established inner circle simply refused to share the global spotlight with a young superstar who supposedly hadn't earned her place within their old-school, unwritten hierarchy. Coaches and committee members quickly launched a media campaign hoping to calm furious fans, yet their explanations only fueled even more criticism, with many viewers interpreting the situation as jealousy and pettiness rather than basketball strategy. The highly publicized rejection became a brutal wake-up call for Caitlin Clark, forcing her to reconsider everything she believed about fairness, merit, and loyalty inside women's basketball. Publicly, she responded with the same calm professionalism everyone expected, refusing to hand reporters the emotional reaction they desperately wanted. Privately, however, many believe the message was impossible to miss. If she could rewrite television ratings, help secure charter flights across the league, and contribute to a massive new media rights deal without earning genuine respect from the old guard, then wasting energy on political games made little sense. That realization reportedly transformed Caitlin Clark's entire outlook, replacing patience with a far more business-minded approach. The financial imbalance only made everything look even more unbelievable. Her WNBA rookie salary became a nationwide talking point because it was tiny compared with the enormous endorsement income she generated independently through global brands like Nike and Gatorade. Those multi-million-dollar partnerships meant she wasn't financially dependent on the same league that critics claimed benefited from her image while failing to protect her. She wasn't just another rookie hoping to survive paycheck to paycheck. She had already become a global business empire whose success helped elevate the very people many believe were trying to minimize her achievements. Every controversial foul, every dismissive interview, and every attempt to downplay her influence happened on the massive stage her own popularity had created. That completely shifted the traditional balance of power, because Caitlin Clark didn't need the WNBA to remain a worldwide phenomenon, but many believe the league desperately needed her to sustain television ratings, attendance, and overall relevance. League executives reportedly understood that uncomfortable reality, even if few were willing to acknowledge it publicly. Meanwhile, powerful alternatives quietly continued gaining momentum behind the scenes, offering an escape route that looked more attractive every day. Suddenly, the idea of Clark walking away no longer sounded like unrealistic fan speculation. New 3-on-3 leagues backed by enormous private investment reportedly began offering elite athletes guaranteed contracts, ownership opportunities, and player freedom the WNBA struggled to match. Rumors rapidly spread that rival organizations were preparing record-breaking offers designed specifically to lure Caitlin Clark away from the demanding 5-on-5 schedule and into an environment promising greater respect, stronger protection, and compensation reflecting her true market value. Reports also claimed elite European clubs were preparing the ultimate welcome, backed by ambitious billionaires who fully understood the incredible worldwide marketing value of Caitlin Clark's brand. Those rumored offers promised superstar treatment, elite security, and life-changing financial rewards, making the entire Indiana Fever situation look painfully amateur by comparison. So why would a global multimillionaire willingly keep risking her body through unchecked physical play and expose her mental health to relentless media narratives while earning a rookie salary far below her true value? According to this narrative, the days of quietly accepting everything were officially finished, and the balance of power had completely shifted. That dramatic change allegedly set the stage for a franchise-altering confrontation that reached far beyond money. It became about long-term protection, basic respect, and taking complete control over her own future. Behind closed doors, rumors suggested the breaking point arrived as a firm ultimatum delivered directly to the Indiana Fever front office, drawing a line that reportedly could no longer be ignored. Insiders claimed Caitlin Clark made it unmistakably clear that the current environment was no longer sustainable, and that she was fully prepared to walk away permanently unless major changes happened immediately. Those reported demands centered on improving the heavily criticized coaching staff, strengthening the roster, and ending what critics described as the organization's passive approach. She reportedly never needed to publicly request a trade because the possibility of her simply refusing to play over concerns involving physical safety and mental well-being created enormous panic throughout the organization and league. This wasn't portrayed as a polite discussion or a routine contract negotiation. Instead, it was described as the sport's biggest superstar forcing leadership to either repair the damage or risk watching their revived franchise collapse back into irrelevance. The reported message was impossible to misunderstand. Replace the people holding this team back, bring in players willing to provide real protection on the court, and demand officials properly enforce obvious fouls. Otherwise, she could take her generational talent, worldwide brand, and millions of loyal supporters somewhere that genuinely appreciated them. According to the story, Indiana suddenly faced an impossible choice between protecting its pride or protecting its financial future as every carefully crafted public relations narrative began falling apart. This alleged behind-the-scenes conflict was portrayed as a moment capable of reshaping the future of women's professional basketball forever. Ultimately, the story argues that the league simply wasn't prepared for a superstar of Caitlin Clark's magnitude despite hoping to find one for decades. Beyond exposing the Indiana Fever's strategic mistakes, it claims she also revealed deeper issues involving outdated thinking, internal politics, and resistance to meaningful change across women's basketball. By reportedly drawing a firm line and showing a willingness to leave, she demonstrated that modern player power belongs to the athlete who captures millions of fans, not just league executives. Whether Caitlin Clark ultimately stays with the Indiana Fever and inspires major reforms or chooses a different path entirely, the script concludes that she already changed the balance of power forever. One final question remains. If an organization couldn't properly support a once-in-a-generation superstar, did it ever truly deserve to keep her? If you enjoyed this breakdown, share your thoughts below, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.